Welcome, everyone, to our final night of Vacation Bible School. I have loved being with you this week, even though we haven't been in the same place together. I feel like I've been with you, but I do still miss you. So I really hope that next year we'll be able to come back together and do Vacation Bible School together here at church again together. All right, so let's think about all that we have talked about this whole week long, or all the places that we've been. So, we've been shipwrecked on a deserted island. We have been in a factory where we've made all kinds of creative things. We have been on the African savannah. Yesterday, we were in the ocean where we did deep sea discovery. And now, those of you who've come to VBS before, some of you might have recognized some of those themes because we've done all those themes at different times during Vacation Bible School. So you might be expecting to have yet another theme that we've done here before. And in fact, I'm being a little tricky tonight because if you've noticed, I wear a different shirt every night, and my shirt always goes along with the theme that we are doing. So those of you who've noticed, you might be thinking to yourself, look, she is wearing a jungle safari shirt. We must be doing jungle safari. But here's where I am tricking you, actually, because we are not doing jungle safari. What we are doing tonight is going to be a little preview for what we're going to do when hopefully we can come back in person again next year. So tonight we're doing an entirely new theme, one that we have never done here at Covenant Presbyterian Church before. This is a brand new one, and I hope you really like it, and I hope it makes you excited for next year when we get to do it together in person. So let's see what it is. I'm going to back away a little bit so you can start to look at the backdrop, and let's see what we can see. It's beautiful, I think. I'm guessing that maybe one of the first things that you see is this train. You see a train kind of coming out of this tunnel right here. It's a long train. Here's the locomotive. You can also see there are tracks on this side of me too. And then over here, there are some more tracks along that cliff. So clearly there are, railroads are going to have some part to do with our theme. But I don't think that this is a train that you would ride on that would take you to like the beach. And I don't think this is a train that you'd ride on. This train is not taking you to the city. It looks to me like there are a lot of mountains, there are a lot of high cliffs. There's a fast-moving stream here right in the middle. And over here, these peaks right here are really tall. Those are some really tall mountains. So if you put those things together, if you put tall mountains and you put railroad together, you get a theme called Rocky Railway. So we are on a train, but we are in the Rocky Mountains. Now, the Rocky Mountains are to the west of where we live. They're in the western part of our country, and they're very, very beautiful. If you've never visited the Rocky Mountains, I hope sometime you get to do that. So our theme, though, is going to talk about this railroad, but it's not a railroad that just goes from city to city. It is very much of a scenic, special railway in the mountains. And Rocky Railway is our setting, but the theme that goes with Rocky Railway is that Jesus' power pulls us through. A train is a good illustration of that because trains are always pulling the rest of the train in behind them. And so the lesson for us is that Jesus' power is what pulls us through life. I can think of a lot of times when I feel pretty powerless, and I'm guessing that a lot of you feel that way too. I feel powerless when maybe you feel powerless when sometimes you need to go somewhere where you don't know anybody else. Maybe you are going to a new school, or maybe you're doing a new activity. Maybe you're, say, playing soccer and you don't know anybody else who's playing soccer, and you're with a whole new group of people, and you need to make new friends. That can be difficult, and you might feel a little shy and a little powerless. You might also feel powerless if you really want to tell somebody else about Jesus. Maybe think about the lessons we've learned all this week and you really want to share them, but you might not be quite sure how you should do that. You might be a little nervous about telling other people about Jesus. And then you might feel a little bit powerless. You also might feel powerless if you know you've done something wrong. Like, let's say you know that you have done or said something mean to your friend, or you've disobeyed your parents, and you know that you should really say that you're sorry. You know that you should ask them to forgive you, but you're just not quite sure how you should do that. You feel a little embarrassed and uncertain, and you definitely feel powerless. All of those examples are times when Jesus' power can pull us through. Jesus helps us through all of those situations. All right, so now, just like every other night, we're going to sing our theme song for Rocky Railway. Abby and Jasmine are going to come up and we're going to sing it. And this song is called Your Power Will Pull Us Through. So as we're singing it, picture the train. You're going to hear a train whistle at the very beginning, which is kind of fun. And this is fun for us because this is a brand new song for us. We have not sung this very often either, so we're learning a new song too. We're going to do a lot of, this is the motion for trust, and we're going to sing trusting, and we'll say, your power will pull us through. So that's another one we're going to do a lot. Oh, and one more time, get ready to turn around. We're going to turn around and turn around like that. Okay? All right, we are ready.
We trust in you, Jesus. You're all that we need. Your power will pull us through. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you. You give us hope and life that's forever. You make us bold and we stand together. Your power will pull us through. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you. We're off on this journey, there's no looking back. With Jesus to lead us, we're on the right track. Oh, 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 oh. Wide open spaces for wide open eyes. We're looking ahead for the next big surprise. Oh, 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 oh. We trust in you, Jesus. You're all that we need. Your power will pull us through. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you. You give us hope and life that's forever. You make us bold and we stand together. Your power will pull us through. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you. We're off on this journey, there's no looking back. With Jesus to lead us, we're on the right track. Oh, 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 oh. Wide open spaces for wide open eyes. We're looking ahead for the next big surprise. Oh, 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 oh. We trust in you, Jesus. You're all that we need. Your power will pull us through. We're trusting in you. Trusting in you. You give us hope and life that's forever. Make us bold. We stand together. Your power pull us through. We're trusting in you. Trusting in you. Your power will pull us through. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you. We're trusting in you.
Okay, so a lot of you know the drill, and you know that what comes with a new theme are some new friends. So we met friends like Decker and Tina earlier in the week. We've met lots of different friends. So I'm just going to introduce you to one of our friends from Rocky Railway, just because I don't want to give them all away, so that when you come back next year, you'll have some new friends to meet. But today, I'm going to introduce you to our friend Sierra. And Sierra is a mountain lion. And there are mountain lions that live in the Rocky Mountains. There are mountain lions that live like in the western part of North America. They live in South America too. They live all over the Western Hemisphere. Some people call them cougars or panthers or pumas, but anyway, that's who we're talking about tonight. Now, the mountain lion is different than the lions that we encountered on the African savanna. Remember those lions? Remember when we did Roar and our song actually started with a lion roaring? Sierra does not roar like that. Sierra is most of the time Sierra is pretty quiet because Sierra is a hunter. And just like lions on the African savanna, they are often hunters, but she needs to be very quiet so she can sneak up on her prey. You can imagine Sierra jumping around on these mountain cliffs, and or maybe down here on these cliffs, if she sees something she's trying to catch, she can move really quickly and try to get them. So she needs to be very quiet, and she does not roar. She does, however, make a pretty loud scream if she ever needs to make a loud noise. So if you've ever heard a cat kind of make a sort of a loud meow, Sierra sounds kind of the same, only it's a whole lot louder if she needs to make that. It's kind of a scream that she makes. Now, Sierra can do a lot of amazing things. Probably the most amazing thing, however, that Sierra can do is that she can jump really, really high. So before we do anything else, let's practice how high we can jump, okay? All right, get ready. Everybody, if you're sitting down, stand up. We're going to see how high we can jump, okay? Even I will do it. I'm not a very good jumper. I bet you guys are better jumpers than I am, but let's try it, okay? Ready? I'm going to get down. All right, on the count of 3, we're all going to jump, okay? Ready? 1, 2, 3, jump! As high as you can. All right, how many of you, did anybody touch the ceiling where you are? I certainly didn't. I didn't even sort of come close. You know how high Sierra can jump? Sierra can jump over 15 feet tall. That is taller than your ceiling, probably, in your house. Sierra could probably jump. It might depend a little bit on your particular house, but Sierra could probably jump from the ground to the roof of your house. She can jump that high. So you picture her on these mountains. She can jump up some really incredible heights. She can also jump really far. She can jump almost 40 feet when she's jumping sort of not high, when she's just going across. She has very, very, very strong legs, and she's pretty amazing that way. Now, Sierra is going to help us to learn our Bible memory verse tonight. All right, so Sierra is, and we're going to think about the word power because Sierra has an awful lot of power behind her. And remember, our theme is Jesus' power will pull us through. So Sierra's memory verse is Isaiah 40, verse 29. And the verse says, He gives power to the weak and strength to the powerless. Okay, let's try that one again. He gives power to the weak and strength to the powerless. All right, now let's do some motions. I think we need to, and to honor Sierra, let's see if we can make the sign for power. We're going to go like this for power. He gives power to the weak, because that's going to be, pretend that's Sierra jumping really far with all of her power. He gives power to the weak and strength to the powerless. We'll go like this. If power is what means, if this motion is for power, powerless is going to be powerless. Okay, like that. And just to make sure that you know, in this verse, he gives strength to the weak, he gives power to the weak and strength to the powerless. We're talking about God. God gives power to the weak and strength to the powerless. All right, so now let's try it again with our motions. All right, get ready. He gives power to the weak and strength to the powerless. All right, how about try it again? He gives power to the weak and strength to the powerless. All right, now let's try it this way. I'm only going to say the words that don't have a motion, okay? I'll do the motions, but at home, you need to say the words, okay? Ready? Let's try it like this. He gives to the and to the. How'd you do? Did you get them all in there? Let's try it again, okay? Let's try it again. He gives to the and to the. All right, did you get it? He gives power to the weak and strength to the powerless. All right, now we're going to sing another song. This song also has the word trust in it. So I'm going to call Abby and Jasmine up again. And this one, we're going to do the same motion for trust that we did in our first one. This song is about how it's called We Can Trust Him. And it talks about the Bible too. We're going to do this motion for the Bible. Okay? All right, ready?
If there's one thing we can count on, it's that God will never let us down, and we can trust everything He does. He keeps His promises, we know, because, yeah, the word of the Lord holds true. We can trust Him, we can trust Him, yeah, the word of the Lord holds true. We can trust Him. We can trust Him, yeah. Oh, yeah. If there's one thing we can count on, it's that God will never let us down, and we can trust everything He does. He keeps His promises, we know, because, yeah, the word of the Lord holds true. We can trust Him, we can trust Him, yeah, the word of the Lord holds true. We can trust Him, we can trust Him. Yeah, the word of the Lord holds true. We can trust Him, we can trust Him, yeah, the word of the Lord holds true. We can trust Him, we can trust Him, we can trust Him, we can trust Him.
Great job. Very good, everybody. All right. Now, so Sierra taught us a lot about God's power and how Jesus' power pulls us through. But one specific thing I thought we would talk about tonight, since this is our last night, is that Sierra teaches us that Jesus' power helps us to be bold. And sometimes we really need that reminder about how Jesus gives us courage and helps us to be bold, especially when we are thinking about how we can tell our friends about Jesus. And that seems like an appropriate thing to talk about today because we've learned so much about Jesus all week long. And so now I hope that now that you've done this week of Vacation Bible School, you will have lots of things to tell your friends, to tell your families, to tell your cousins, to tell your brothers and sisters, all about what you've learned about Jesus. But it can be, sometimes we can get a little nervous about talking to our friends about Jesus. Somebody was telling me an example of how they were a little nervous, how when they were at school and it would be time for lunch and they would pray before they would eat their lunch. And some of their friends would say, "What are you doing? Why are you praying? What do you pray for?" So, one thing that you could say in those situations, you could say how you are thanking God for the food that He's given. And then, if they ask you again, maybe another time you could talk about how, well, I'm thankful that God sent Jesus to rescue us. Or another time you could say, I'm praying because I'm thanking God that He made each one of us special. So, all those things, we might think that it sounds pretty scary to say those things to somebody else, but remember that Jesus gives you the courage. Jesus' power can give you the boldness to say those things, and we can pray about that. Now, let me give you a little tiny demonstration of how Jesus' power helps us to be bold. So, here I have this chain. And this is sort of just a plain old chain. It doesn't look like this chain has very much power. And that can be how we feel a lot of times. We often feel very sort of powerless. Now I'm going to put this chain in this bucket right here. And again, we just have like a plain sort of chain. And when it's just here, again, just a plain chain. But look what, if I give this chain just a little bit of momentum, we're doing a little physics lesson here. If I give this chain this chain a little momentum, that's how Jesus' power works in our lives too. And now watch what happens to this chain when I give it just a little momentum. It hops out of the bucket. It has all kinds of energy, and it accomplishes all kinds of great things. That's what Jesus' power does in our lives. So let's try that again, shall we? So let's see what that looks like one more time. Let's see. All right, I'm going to put it in the bucket again, and I'm going to just hold this chain right here. Again, just a plain chain. But when we give it some momentum, just like Jesus' power works in our lives, look what happens. All kinds of energy sort of right there. All right, what do you think? Should we do it one more time? I think we will. We'll do it one more time. We'll put the chain back in the bucket. All right. We'll lift it up. And momentum. There we go. Now, the cool thing is, you guys get to do this at home too. In your take-home packet, you will find a strand of beads. And actually, Amy's going to come up here and she's going to show you what you are looking for in your take-home packet. So you need your strand of beads, and you also need a small cup. Any cup will do. And you can do the same thing that we just did here with our chain and our bucket. You're going to take your beads and you're going to coil them into your cup. And then you're going to give them momentum, and it's going to do the same thing. Very cool. You want to try it one more time? There. See, you can do it too. And when you see that, it reminds you that Jesus' power pulls you through, and Jesus' power helps you to be bold. All right. Now, we've just kind of played with our chains and our beads a little bit. What we're doing for craft and for game tonight are kind of all combined into one thing. In your take-home packet, you will find a little package, something that is called a bold blaster. So you can take those out of the package, and you need two pieces to your bold blaster. There's the piece with the little ball in the end, and then there's the other little piece with little triangular ends. Now, Amy's going to demonstrate for us. First of all, Amy, here, I'll hold this piece for you. You don't need this guy, first of all. Just hold the end and hold it up like this and let it drop. And let's see how bold this little ball is. That's a little bit. Here, try it again. I see a little bounce, but not really a huge bounce. Now, Amy's going to put this piece on it. And think of this piece as the power booster, all right? So put that piece on. Now do the same thing and drop it. Now go ahead, Amy, see what it does. Woo! See that piece shoot off? Here, try it again. Now, before you try it at home, there's something I need to warn you about. We'll watch Amy one more time. Woo! Look at that. All right, now, the only thing, you guys can put yours together and you can play with them. It doesn't matter which direction you put that little power pack on. You can put them on either way. But one thing to be careful about, here, let me show you one thing. Make sure that you aren't leaning over when you do this, okay? Make sure that you are holding it a little bit away from your body. You don't want to do it right here where your head is over it, because when this power booster shoots off, you don't want that to hit you in the nose, all right? So make sure you're holding it a little bit away from you. Woo! That time it shot that direction. All right, so that's kind of a craft and a game in and of itself. But now we do have one more game tonight, so Amy and I are going to move this table onto here. And your game tonight, there's two parts to this game. You, partly because we're talking about being bold and how God's power gives us courage, we're going to do sort of two things. First, you're going to do 3 jumping jacks. You want to show us, Amy? Do 3 jumping jacks for us. 1, 2, 3. And then you're going to come to your bottle of water. Now, you each have received a bottle of water. If yours is still full, you want to dump some water out. You really only want it about 1/3 of the way full in your water bottle. And then you're going to flip your water bottle. Show them, Amy. And your goal is to flip it over so it is standing upright, just like that. Amy's going to see what she can do. See if she can get it. Hey, oh, so close. Very close. And close. Very close. I know she can do it. I've seen her do this many times. Close. I know. Sometimes it doesn't work as well. But I've seen her do. There you go. Good job. Now, here's what you're going to do for your game. You're going to do 3 jumping jacks, and then you're going to try to do 5 bottle flips to see if you can get it to stand. Then you're going to go back and do 3 more jumping jacks, then 5 bottle flips. But I'll tell you what, if you need a few more bottle flips to get it to stay, you can keep trying and keep practicing. So, Amy, why don't you do it? Why don't you do your 3, then your 5. All right, go ahead. 1, 2, 3. Now 5 flips. 1, yay! Oh, close. 1 more. Yay! Very good. All right, so you can try that at home and you can do as many of those as you would like. Have fun. All right, so we have one more song to sing with you tonight, and I don't think the Rocky Railway would be complete if we didn't have a train song. So I'm going to call Jasmine and Abby up, and we're going to do a song called This Train is Bound for Glory. All right, the emotions for this one are really simple. We just go, this train is bound for glory. Okay.
This train is bound for glory. This train is bound for glory. This train is bound for glory. Jesus made a place in heaven for me. This train is bound for glory. 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 Jesus made a place in heaven for me. This train is bound for glory. This train.
Okay, now let's bring it down.
This train is bound for glory. This train is bound for glory. This train is bound for glory. Jesus made a place in heaven for me. This train is bound for glory. This train. Oh, this train is bound for glory. This train is bound for glory. This train is bound for glory. Jesus made a place in heaven for me. This train is bound for glory. This train. This train. This train.
All right, very good. You guys can sit down if you would like. Now, one more thing before we pray for tonight. Since this is our very last night, I hope that I may get to see some of you later today. You can talk to your moms and dads about that. But if I don't, I hope that you had a wonderful time this week at Vacation Bible School. Thank you so much for participating. And again, I would love to see, when I get to see you again, I would love to see any of the crafts that you made. Or definitely, I would love to hear those of you who've been learning your verses all week long. Definitely let me know, and I can't wait to hear your verses when I get to see you. Okay? All right, so let's pray together tonight and thank God for a wonderful week and ask God to help us to remember all those things that we've learned. All right, close your eyes. Dear God, thank you so much for this week that we've had together. Thank you that you gave us a way to have VBS even though we couldn't all be together in the same building. I pray for each child who participated. I pray that you'll be with them at home. You'll be with their parents. You'll be with their grandparents. And I pray that all of these families will be encouraged to read your word and to study and understand and realize all the things that you have done for us. I thank you that you have rescued us. I thank you that you have made us for a purpose. I thank you that you are always good, even when life is full of troubles. I thank you that you are with us wherever we go, and I thank you that your power pulls us through. I pray that we will remember each of those things tonight and for the rest of the summer and for the rest of our lives. In your name we pray. Amen. Thanks again, everyone, for coming. We'll see you later. Goodbye.